Hello everyone, my name is Erica Shidler and I am standing in front of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway where in less than a month this track will be filled with race fans and celebrities to see who will gain the title of Indianapolis 500 champion at the 100th anniversary of the greatest spectacle in racing. My guest today is one of those hopeful drivers who has been very eager to get into a car, and her wish has just been granted. She just announced that she will be signed with Conquest Racing for the Indianapolis 500. My guest, Pippa Mann. Hi, Pippa.
Hi, it's great to see you again.
It's great to see you too. Now, I know that this has to be an exciting time for you. You've been all smiles all week long. Tell me a little bit about how this deal came about for you.
Yeah, it's been really late coming together. The race is just over a month away. Testing starts in just over 2 weeks. And it's been so late coming together. It's been really anxious and really nerve-wracking. It's been a roller coaster ride this winter. And then finally, just at the start of this week, on Monday, we got the deal signed. And as soon as we got it signed, we got the news out there noon the next day. So really relieved, really grateful at the moment. And there's a little bit of excitement starting to creep in too.
I would imagine so. Now, when I last talked to you in St. Pete, I know that you weren't in a car, but all of this was kind of taking place at that time, and you were working on sponsors and stuff like that as well. Do you think that people don't understand the hard work that it takes to put in to find the sponsors?
It's incredibly difficult going out there and trying to raise money and trying to sell yourself basically as a product and as a brand that sponsors want to associate with. I'm not only trying to sell the IndyCar series and the Indy 500, I also have to sell me to people. Now, even the drivers whom are big name drivers, people like Dan Weldon and Paul Tracy, they've documented how tough it is for me. I'm just some girl who ran Indy Lights last year. Okay, I did a good job in Indy Lights, but unless you're a real race fan, you probably don't know who I am. Yeah. So we're trying to bang down doors and, you know, they've never heard of me. So hopefully this race will help my name get out there a little bit more, and then when we're trying to bang down doors in the future, people will say, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I've heard of this girl. And we're hoping that'll kind of give us a bit of help in the future.
Right. Now, I know some people that definitely know your name are back home. You are the first British woman driver to ever attempt to qualify for this race. What kind of reaction did you get back home?
Actually, it's so strange. It's a hook that we didn't really think was going to pick up for that many people, because there's so many girls out here racing now, and it was just like a little fact that went out in the story, and that's the fact that's really been picked up by people, and it's been received in such a cool way. It actually made one of the daily papers back home, and it made the CNN International edition out here on their motorsports page, and we're still on the front page of that 3 days running. So it's really, really cool that it's got that kind of attention again. That all helps with what we're trying to do here.
Absolutely. Now, last year you won pole position at this track. Do you think that that makes it any more comfortable for you racing here?
I hope so. I guess I get to find that out when I get in an IndyCar. But yeah, I had a very good record here. I've had 2 very good qualifyings here at this track. So I've got a pretty good idea what I need from my car for it to feel good. And last year when I was here, okay, it's still a lights car, and we didn't really get the opportunity to show it because my race ended early, but I had a great race car on race day. It was awesome. So I've kind of got a good idea what I'm looking for, but I won't really know how close they are until I get to start my rookie orientation.
Right. Now, last year with the Indy Lights, it helps you to prepare for this transition, but what kind of differences are there with the Indy Lights compared to this?
Oh, it helps you hugely, especially with the speed and your brain being able to cope with that. Because although it's nearly 30 miles an hour faster, and at that speed that's a huge number, your brain's still used to coping with things at high speed, so it slows it all down to a level at which you kind of go, oh, okay, this feels kind of normal. The feel of the car when I tested an Indy car was very similar to an Indy Lights car, so again, that was great. The difference is, however, I'm going to be doing pit stops, and I've never done a pit stop before. We don't do those in Indy Lights. All these other rookies are going to have done all the races leading up, and they're going to have some experience of what it feels like to bolt on a cold set of brand new boots and go out on track. I'm going to be doing that in the greatest show in the world, the biggest race of the year, and I've never done that before. So although we're going to test and we're going to practice, that, for example, is something that's going to be completely new to me. Along the same vein, trying to get in and out of my pit box, just learning all of the systems that I have to learn under yellow in an IndyCar, all that stuff's going to be new to me. So I've got a lot of learning and work ahead of me.
I think you'll be fine. Now, for the Indianapolis 500 this year, it seems to be that the field is fairly crowded. What are your expectations for this?
It's such a strong field this year, and that really hindered us in putting the program together because, again, we're back to the thing of I'm just an Indy Lights driver. I've done one test and, okay, that test went hugely well. And here we are trying to put together a deal with one of the smallest teams on the grid. So you've got a small driver with a small team and everybody's looking at the depth of the field going, hang on a minute, you guys really reckon you can get in? We're going, yeah, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't think we could get in. So I think our main goal is we really want to be a first day qualifier. We want to stick it in the show on day one. That's the big thing. If we end up having to do it on day two, we want to do it in a style on day two that says we absolutely should have stuck it in the day before. So that's kind of the goal for qualifying weekend. Then after that, get to race weekend. It's just learn as much as I can and try and get to the end of the race and run a nice clean race, I guess.
All right, now I know that you also haven't announced any kind of sponsorship yet. How far are you from announcing anything?
At the moment, it's really hard to say. It could be tomorrow. I very much doubt it will be because it's a weekend. And in England at the moment, we also have, as well as Easter, the royal wedding happening. So many businesses have closed down. It's extremely painful timing for us. However, we have managed to piece together enough funding to put the car out on track. The car will be there. It will be running. And we're hoping to get some companies on board and announce them back as soon. At the moment, it's a one-race deal. And again, the thing that's holding it a one-race deal is that funding thing. We can't do this without the money. And however much Eric wants to help me out and wanted me to get in his car, and he's helped make this possible here at IMS, without more money, I'm going to be on my feet again after the Speedway.
Will you be watching the royal wedding?
No, I'm afraid not. I feel like I probably should be, but I'm actually going to be flying back to England that day, so my excuse is I'll be on an airplane when it's going on.
All right, now I know that social media has been a big tool for you, especially you're the first person to announce it to your fans and everything like that. How big of a tool has it been for you and what sites do you use?
It's been a huge tool for me to use. I love using Facebook and Twitter. I think they're great ways to connect with people. As I get more and more popular, Facebook actually becomes more and more difficult to manage, and at the moment I'm doing 100% of it myself. However, Hannah, my PR girl in the UK, is also an administrator. And as we get days where I get completely, jammed up, I always try and get on there and try and reply to things. But sometimes it takes two of us just to go through everything, and she'll say to me, hey, I know you haven't been online for a couple of days because you've been flat out, but you need to go and reply to this and do this. So I do need a little prompting sometimes. Twitter, however, is really easy. It's on my phone the entire time, and I can just tweet away. I have to be a bit careful sometimes because I try to be funny and I'm not sure it always comes across, but most of the time I seem to get a pretty good reception in both of those places.
Yeah. All right, well, good. Thank you so much for talking to us. Congratulations, and we'll see you at the track.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.